Oh, hi guys and girls, Emma again. Welcome back to the spare room. We've got some strange things happening here. I fixed the headstock on the lathe and it's fantastic. It's better than it's ever been. I'm really pleased with it. It's really nice. At the moment it's still running a fraction hot, but we're getting it sorted. However, we've got a chatter problem to the point that we can no longer part off and we're not getting a really good finish and we can't take a 20th hour cut anymore. And we're just not happy with it. I thought it was a blunt parting off tool and I've tried a dozen things. I've been messing around with the bearings again, wondering what on earth this bad chatter is. But on closer inspection we have a problem. This is the top off the compound. It's pretty crap. There's a bit of history to this, I think, just reading between the lines. I bought this out of Germany in 2012, something like that. And I thought I was getting a pretty good one. It's got all the paint left still on it. It's screws and everything, and it's still got scrape marks all over it. However, someone's done a job on it, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, because this modification makes it possible to put the multi-fix tool post on this machine. And someone was braver than I would be to do it. However, they've just been that little bit too ambitious with it. What they do. And here's why. This has got a lot of tapped holes in it, and I'd say it's been a production machine at some point, and it's done a bit of work. However, this was also, I think, about 18 millimetres taller here when it was new. And someone's machined that off to give us some clearance to put a tool post on, and that's a great thing. However, when we have a look and pull this apart, this piece here that holds the pin in is, you see that, but it's about 1.2, 1.6 millimetres or something thick in cast iron. This pin goes through, and it was right for a while. It's got 2 Scotch keys in there, and it's got a pin to stop it turning, and in theory it should be good, but all this is pulled out and all the way around there. That whole piece is bumped out of there. So we need to fix it or replace it or something. Now there's a school of thought that thinks that, well, where I'm at, this is a lot of work to tidy up. By the time probably the best thing we can do is machine this out here and fit a nice 5mm plate. That would strengthen everything up and make everything pretty good and durable and excellent. However, we've got to put oil holes back in here, and which it hasn't really got anyway. They're all over the show. There's one in the top there, and there's one, I think that one there goes through. But these have had holes tapped, and I think someone's probably had a plate bolted on here at some point, and this is cut out here. So effectively, if we have a look there, that recess is what, 5mm? And this here is 12mm. So effectively, if we machine that down to the top of that recess there, we could get 6mm quite comfortably in there, a 6mm block of steel. That's one way. The other way is to make a new one. However, somehow we've got to fit this back in, which is borderline ugly, and I don't like that much. What I'd like to do is have a steel plate with a decent thread in it that I could screw a decent pin in, nice and square and solid, and it's going to do the job. Don't want this any higher than it's got to be, because if we do that, then we lose some very desperately needed tool height. And I don't like that much. So for some reason this has had a pin in here. I don't know whether that's pressed in or whether that's just part of it, or whether it's going to come out, or whether I just don't like that much. What I would like to do, I think, is to machine this out all the way through. Put a piece of 6mm steel, decent 6mm steel, and 4 decent screws, all holding it down, DevCon or something it in place so that you can't tell. Put proper oil holes in it with oilers. I actually have oilers here ready to go. At some point I was going to put them in the side here, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that yet. And put the tool post back on. Now that sounds all right. While ever this is sandwiched between the tool post and the pin, or the boss on the pin, this is probably never going to be a real problem. But because the multi-fix, because I've never made an inner tube for it to carry the spline, this is pulling on that radius there, and that's becoming an issue. So rather than put it back together, we need to fix it. So anyone got any ideas? Really appreciate your feedback. But this, I think, I don't think it's insurmountable, but it's set me back a little bit actually, this one. This one's going to need a little bit of work. And that hurts a bit. I was just getting in and getting parts done for the 3 or 4 projects that I have with some pressing need, and I find this. Another issue that needs fixing, and this is the bearing races for the screw. Three of these holes here are stripped. They look like they're probably M3, and they're fairly small, short screws. They hold this cover on here. Probably someone's just put short screws back in by mistake, but it feels a bit like they're stripped. So I'm going to try some longer screws and see if I can get them to hold. Otherwise I've got to do something about that as well while we've got it apart. So for the next foreseeable little while, that's what we're working on. So that's a quick news update on it. There's a beautiful bit of kit, as you can see. Everything's beautifully made, except that someone's taken, 12, 14 millimetres or something off here, 16 millimetres off the top, and it's left this pretty thin. So also got this ugly step on here that'd be nice to be filled in at some point, because it achieves nothing in being like that. So I'll put this on the internet and see if someone has some ideas. And thanks for watching. Be kind to each other. Thanks for your patience with other projects, in particular the engine builds, while we get this fixed. And hopefully we won't be too far away with it.